The story of David and Goliath, based on 1 Samuel chapter 17. After the time of Israel's judges came the time of the kings. The first king was Saul. During his days, their old enemies, the Philistines, gathered an army to fight the Israelites. The two armies faced each other from either side of a deep valley. The Israelites stood on their side of the valley. Suddenly, a huge warrior stepped out of the Philistine camp. He was a giant, towering above other men. He wore heavy bronze armor, carried a bronze javelin, and held a spear as long as a tree trunk. He was called Goliath, and he struck fear into the hearts of the Israelites. He roared from the valley, shouting his challenge.
"Choose one of your men to fight me. If he can kill me, we will be your slaves and serve you. But if I kill him, you will be our slaves and serve us forever."
No man dared move. They just stared. Even King Saul, who was tall and strong and a mighty warrior among the Israelites, looked small and weak against this fearful champion. Goliath strode across the valley, shaking his spear, mocking the Israelites with his defiance.
"I am one man against the whole army of Israel. Come on, pick your champion and let me fight him."
Still no one stepped forward to volunteer. The Israelites jeered and laughed as Goliath returned to their camp. The Philistines jeered and laughed as Goliath returned to their camp. Every day for 40 days, Goliath repeated his act, striding down the valley, roaring his challenge, and standing there in his gleaming battle gear. The fear in the hearts of the Israelite warriors, grew each day. Now David was the youngest son of a man from Bethlehem in Judah named Jesse, who had 8 sons. David was at home tending his father's flocks of sheep. His 3 eldest brothers had joined the battle line with King Saul. Their father began to worry about them, so he sent David to the battlefield to find out what was happening. David saw Goliath marching about and defying the Israelites. He was shocked and angered by the sight. When David's brothers heard him, they were angry.
"Why didn't you come here? Go back and guard your flock of sheep. You're too full of yourself."
What have I done now? Isn't there a good reason for my question?
Someone told King Saul what David had been saying, and Saul sent for David, since he seemed to be the only person in Israel who was not afraid of Goliath. When he saw the youth coming toward him, Saul was amazed. David was so young, but he looked so fearless.
Why should anyone lose heart over this Philistine? I am your servant, O king, and I will go fight him.
You're only a youth, and this warrior has been fighting all his life.
Your Majesty, if a lion or bear took a lamb from my father's flock, I went after him to save the lamb. If the beast attacked me, I struck him and killed him. Your servant has killed both lions and bears. Surely the God who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear can deliver me from this Philistine.
Go on then, and God be with you.
Then Saul dressed David in his own breastplate and helmet. But David said, "I am not used to all of this. Let me go as I am." So David collected 5 smooth stones from a stream and put them in his shepherd's bag. He took his sling in his hand and picked up his staff and walked down the valley towards Goliath. When the giant saw that a challenger was at last coming to meet him, he marched forward clutching his spear. But when he realized it was only a boy and not a man of war, Goliath was furious.
"Am I a dog that you're killing me with a stick? What are you going to do, boy? Hit me with your stick?"
Then he cursed in the name of his Philistine god and shouted,
"Come here, boy. I will feed your flesh to the birds of the air and to the beasts of the field."
David shouted back,
You come to me with the sword and the spear and the javelin, but I come to you in the name of the God of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you down, and I will give the bodies of the Philistines to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field, for that the world may know that there is a God in Israel. And all these people will know that the Lord does not save with swords and spear, for this battle is the Lord's.
Then Goliath raised his spear. David ran quickly to meet the Philistine. He took a stone and loaded it into his sling. He swung it quickly around his head and let it fly. With deadly speed, the stone struck Goliath in the middle of his forehead. The great Philistine champion fell to the ground, dead. Then David took Goliath's sword and cut off his head. When the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they turned and ran off in fear, with the Israelite army pursuing them. Come on, let's go! And 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 50 says, "So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone." This is the word of the Lord.